we were on like a loss streak, and 100 Thieves was on a huge win streak, and then we beat 100 Thieves like in week 7 or something, and there was this guy that bet like a lot of money that 100 Thieves would win. And the odds for us were terrible, like so we lost a lot of money.
His mortgage.
And I carried the game like 1v9 as well, so he just messaged me. He was so mad that I like played well, and it was just like, dude, wow.
Was that the Keone game?
Funny. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Man.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Yeah. What can you say, man?
I learned how to swim at 4, and then my whole family is like a swim family. We were just all in swimming, so I started competitive swimming when I was 6. I didn't even really know there was a water polo team at our high school, and then I told one of my classmates that I was a swimmer, and he was like, "Wait, you should just try out for the water polo team." And I was like, "I've never played that before." Basically, tried out. I was faster than everyone, so I got to be in varsity for free because I was just a good swimmer. And my whole life, I was just used to like swimming, like looking at the line, like by myself. Like it's a very individual sport. Like you're in your head a lot, and water polo is way more fun playing with a team. So I just decided I want to like pivot and do that, and started trying to get better. I wouldn't really say I was like a star necessarily. I wasn't like the best player in my league or whatever, but I got pretty good towards like junior or senior year. I think looking back on it, I was like not the greatest team player. I still feel kind of bad about it because I like wouldn't throw the ball a lot and stuff to like my teammates, but
it sounds like you're a star.
I mean,
sounds like a Kari to me.
Okay, kind of, but like
I honestly don't know how water polo is played.
Yeah. What position did you play?
I grew a lot towards like junior year, I think, and then I started playing pole set, which is like basically the role in the middle where you go right next to the goal, and you basically like, there's like whole set and whole defense is usually like the biggest people in the pool, and you basically just like wrestle for position so that you can like get on the side of the ball, and then they throw it to you and be really close to the goal. So
you wrestle?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, water polo is like kind of like that.
You're like trying to drown each other?
Not really. I mean,
it gets pretty.
You need to be.
physical,
You need to be.
right?
You need to be strong to like be able to keep yourself above water. And then if you're stronger than other people, you can like. I mean, stuff that I used to do is like I would just use my arms a lot. So it's under the water, and there is stuff that's like illegal. But the way the water polo is, it's like hard. It's hard for the refs to see a lot of the stuff that goes on under the water. So there's like a whole other part of the game that happens. Like people would be grabbing like swimsuits and like kicking you under the water and stuff. Like you could do that stuff.
Dude.
It's not necessarily like meta. Like I wouldn't say like it happens every game, but depending on the team depending on the team you're playing against, like if some people were playing like dirty or something, and one of your teammates like complains about some player like hit him or something or did something bad, and then you go back out and everyone tries to like fuck him up.
Sounds like hockey, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of fun. I would say most of the games were like there's pretty good sportsmanship. It's not. I feel like water polo gets that reputation where it's like that's all the people hear about, because I think when you're like younger and you're in high school, like all the guys love to brag about like how hardcore they are and shit, like the stuff that they do like that. But I don't think it's like that constantly.
Like I also did competitive swimming.
Okay.
Yeah, I was the same person that they were like, you're fast. And like, I remember I was heartbroken because I was like 10 years old and they put me in like the teen league because I was just kicking everybody's ass so hard. And I was like absolutely heartbroken that I had to swim against like teenagers.
Yeah.
I was like,
so you can't win every game.
Yeah,
every time.
exactly. I was like, it was like a handicap. It was also like, after that, like after they gave me the handicap, I was like, if you get good at something, they're just gonna make it harder for you. I don't wanna do this anymore. So I like rage quit that.
How did you get into league then?
I'm a lot older than most of you. I started when I was about 22. I was in a really bad marriage and I wanted a new game to play because I had been a World of Warcraft player before. Final Fantasy XI was like my kryptonite for a really long time. And I also dropped out of high school to try to play CS. So I had married this guy and hadn't played games for about 5 years, and all of my friends were playing League of Legends, but it was my friend who was Donkey's duo support who got me into it. So like early seasons, between seasons 3 and 4, I remember my opening screen was Elise. Like that's how you kind of remember when you started, or at least I did.
Yeah. And Akaadian, you started playing top, right? Was that the first role you got really good at?
Yeah. I think I started becoming like a fan of the LCS, like when like Meteos was on Cloud9 joining, like I would watch, and I was literally in high school, and I was like, dude, this is so cool. Like people are doing this for jobs, and I'm sitting here like hoping for a couple hours to like play League. Like my parents allow me, like I did my chores, like I did all this stuff. I'm hoping for like some time to play League, and these guys just get to play it all day, like in their house. Yeah, the first time I climbed was with I was a Tryndamere one trick.
Oh,
I just copied a Tryndamere player. It was fun.
What season is this, just for reference?
I think 3 or 4.
Okay. I remember when I met you, you were a Yasuo and Rengar player.
yeah.
So you're just like that dude nobody wants to run into in solo queue. It's like Tryndamere, Rengar, Yasuo, just like I'm gonna win or lose this game myself.
I think I'm a lot better at jungle because I think my virtues as like a person or just how I am as a person. I mean, you literally were like, you remember playing with me. I remember doing with you. Like, I was like Gangplank, Yasuo. Like I was just not a player that had enough patience for top lane, I think. I think top lane is you need to be willing to accept that the enemy jungler can just make you not play for like a minute or two. Like you just can't do anything. And you just have to like, just take it and be fine. And I was not, like I was like the person that I would just try to like 1v2, which once jungle got stronger, like as the seasons went on, I realized like the jungler is just gonna carry the game. If like this happens, this is when Dardoch was on Team Liquid Academy. I was not able to win top like ever because every time I like would start winning or I wanted to start winning, it was just too much. Like I was just getting ganked so much. And I remember Dardoch was building like sort of the occult and just getting like 20 stacks and just getting like 20 kills. I'd never seen anyone like doing this before, like carrying scrims that hard.
That's around the time Dardoch got that pentakill on Rek'Sai, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. That was like, people were freaking out so much about that. And I remember just sitting there watching it being like, why is a jungler getting a penta? Like, why do you need that many resources as a jungler?
Yeah. I mean, he was just, I mean, season 6 was like where it kind of started where jungle could actually carry. So it made sense that people would get more resources to just do that and just kill everyone.
Yeah. Definitely. Dardoch's definitely been a fun player to watch.
Yeah.
Follow. He's
exciting.
Very exciting career,
Yeah.
for sure. We were on Optic together. I was LCS, he was Academy. And it was kind of similar, but like, I don't know, we had such different play styles at the time. Like, I've always been a fan of like, you know, the vision control, like just playing pretty methodically, playing to get lanes ahead, like just playing standard stuff, like I'm cool blind picking Jarvan, Sejuani, whatever. And then Dardoch's the guy who's like, give me counter pick. I'm gonna pick like Riven jungle, Karthus jungle, Nico jungle. And then my coach would come up to me and be like, Will, what do you think about Nico jungle? I'm like, I see you've been talking to Dardoch again.
Yeah.
So yeah, we always had very different play styles, and like I could see what he was going for. I generally didn't agree with a lot of it, like, you know, especially the edgy picks, but you know, like I respect his playstyle for sure. Thought he was good, just, you know, different from how I saw the game.
I was talking to Xmithy for like a couple hours about this, but we think there's two, from how we see it over the couple of years, there's usually two very distinct camps of junglers. There's like the brain junglers that think a lot, and there's like the instinctual junglers that are like more, they just like play for good fights and stuff. And it's usually, like it's obviously a spectrum, but it's usually pretty easy to tell like where someone lies within that. And I feel like, yeah, you're definitely like the brain. You're like more of the, you think you're like game out a lot more. And then Dardoch is definitely more on the other side where he's just more instinctual and he'll just find like good fights and stuff. That's how they win. So
where would you put yourself on that spectrum?
I think I would say I'm more of like a planner, probably.
Okay.
So you're a brain jungler.
Yeah, kind of.
Interesting, because I think you've had a shift because I remember you more being on the other side of it. Because I don't know if you remember, but there was this time where you were at my house watching me play. I think this was like season 7, and I was playing Xinjiao, and I was farming my camp, and you're like, why don't you move your character? Like, you're just standing still attacking. And I was like, I don't know, like, I never really thought about it. And then after that, I did start thinking more about it, like microing my champion, like, moving between attacks and stuff. Just, I don't know, it was like half mechanic practice, half just like trying to look cool. And then I did that for a while. And then at some point, I caught myself and I'm like, I'm putting so much effort into like microing myself for no reason on my camp, and I'm just not looking at the map anymore. Like, what am I doing? So now I'm kind of it was good that you pointed that out because like I didn't think about it, and now I try to like actually do it smartly. I'm like, okay, I'll move between my attacks as like I'm going toward the next place I need to be. I'm not just gonna do it for fun, like going back and forth, like just to try. Like, oh man, look at my jungle killing mechanics. This is so sick.
We actually, all 4 of us are junglers.
Mm-hmm.
Where are
really?
you on this? Yeah, you're Kindred one trick.
Yeah.
Right? Are you brain or instinct?
I'm 100% brain. I'm a coward, actually.
Nice.
Which is not a great jungling trait to have. Like, I'll close my eyes during team fights and stuff, but I've done well for myself with the brain. I'm deeply brain focused, and my mental is actually pretty fragile because of that. Like the best laid jungle plans with the brain, it can be pretty bad when things don't go your way. So I can pivot better now though, especially like learning how to do color casting and like analytical stuff has made my macro and my ability to pivot so much better, because you can't predict you can in certain respects predict how the game's going to go, but watching so many games, I've probably watched thousands of games in the last like 8 months, hundreds of thousands even.
That's a lot of games.
Yeah, that's a lot of games.
Yeah, I fall asleep for the last like 3 weeks. I made a goal to watch as many leagues as possible. And I've been falling asleep to like LCS is my favorite because they're just like small and quirky and fun, and like they all have a really good time. But
Wait, what?
So OC, you said?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you said it
the
really
Oceanic
fast.
lead, yeah.
Okay, cool. You also have a full-time job, right? Mm-hmm. So how do you balance these?
I don't right now. Right now I'm actually on leave from my full-time job. I've been having you're getting to that period, you're getting a little bit older, and the things that used to fulfill you no longer serve you. And I'm at this point in my life where it's like really affecting my mental health to not feel something that like fills my soul, that makes me feel really good. And for 2 years, I did color casting as a hobby, and it was always so thrilling to do it, but I was never good enough to be confident. I was always just like, oh, I'll do specialized tournaments.
So is LCS the only thing that you cast audio only? Is everything else video and audio?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the difference in how you approach it?
It's like a live radio broadcast of LCS, and the reason that it is so like difficult, I think, is that every word you say has to count. They do not have the visuals to supplement it. So, if I say something that is not actively illustrating the action that is currently happening, or like highlighting important facts, people can't see. Because I listen to my own broadcast back, and I'm always like, what's happening in my mind's eye? Can I see the game? And we don't always excel at that because we can see the game, but that's the big thing. Like when people can't see it, it's insane how much you have to pack into it. And the other thing is like you very much become a target of scrutiny because your personality is very much the main thing that they have to rely on. So that's been another challenge, like trying to be more professional and more focused and more like, the reason I watch so many games is because game knowledge is a huge thing, and it's especially like let's not kid ourselves. Women are not trusted in the league scene to know what we are talking about. And so if I want to be anywhere near like a professional career, I have to be the best. I have to be better than any of my male colleagues as far as game knowledge goes. So it's weird. It's really rough, but it is it's like the love of my life.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds like you figured it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's so dangerous. Like I think that comfort is the enemy of passion and joy and love. And so I'm getting emotional. Like the thought of giving up like my stability and this career. I've been in technology and analytics for 11 years. This has been my life. But I've also been playing League of Legends for 9 years. So I mean, what's to say that that can't work, you know? It's just the gender portion of it, watching how Frosk is treated. Women who put themselves in as experts, it hasn't necessarily happened yet.
Well, there's Emily also, who's done an
Emily's
amazing job.
Incredible, like that, and I think that's what lit the fire under me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's so crazy to say that like, I saw Emily on broadcast and I was like, holy shit. Like I was like, it's happening. Like we may be as a community at a point where we can actually, I could actually do this.
You can.
Yeah, but it's amazing that Emily had the bravery to do it.
You are.
I'm trying. I wanted to actually, there was this point that you brought up about how you were in water polo, right? You weren't a great teammate because you were like trying to carry like by yourself and not relying or like trusting other people. And you and I did an interview for League Day and you said that you've had like some very serious mental changes that have like helped. And it sounds like almost like connecting like this like lone wolf individual play to a mindset. Are those two connected or like the recent breakthroughs that you've made?
I mean, I'm actually kind of down to talk about it. I thought honestly, after I started doing this and it started working for myself, I was like, it'd be cool to come on a show and just talk about stuff like this for other people because I've been a person that I just live with anxiety constantly. And it has affected my career in the past. Like it's affected my game. And a big thing that I changed this last year was I hired a therapist and I just accepted that like, okay, I have this issue that has come up. Like it happened 3 times in my career. Like there's 3 different, very clear, distinct times where my play looks terrible and my level looks really bad. And it's just because I'm like losing my mind. Like,
you're letting your anxiety drive you.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I'm just like losing my whole mind. Like it's like really, just some of those games were gross that I put up. But just started working on that this year, and I have like a pregame routine now that basically I need to help my brain like slow down, and I need to chill out more and not put so much like importance on the match. Like even if it is an important match, right? I just need to relax more and just tell myself like, I don't know, just positive stuff is like it's gonna happen.
Positive self-talk is actually
just positive self-talk before I play. I just meditate before I play now, so I become really like chilled out. And anytime my anxiety is like freaking out like that, I have friends I can vent to, or like my therapist just helps me work through stuff that I'm worried about. And I think it helped me a lot. I feel like this year when I got back to LCS, I was like definitely a little nervous to play again because it has been so long, but I think I just played like pretty loose most of my games. Like I think in general, I don't think I was really getting affected by it too much. So I mean, I don't know if there's other players that deal with this. I don't know how common it is, or if it is common. I feel like it's been super taboo to talk about. Like nobody in esports wants to talk about like mental stuff because there's just this mindset that it's like you just can't be like that if you're gonna like be a pro or if you're gonna be good. Like it's just the best people like don't deal with stuff like this. I mean, I don't know, but that's just what
I think you're completely right. There is like discomfort with even being vulnerable and admitting that like there's something that's you've been struggling with. You know, there are a lot of players who are no longer even playing in the league. Like who is it? Was it Gleebgarb from the TSM support? Yeah, I remember he posted about like being super depressed right after his time on TSM and feeling a lot of pressure. And it's sad because you hear these stories and people feel because of the way the community can be sometimes that it's not safe to talk about that. But I think, honestly, I think it's ubiquitous. I think most people deal with anxiety or depression in some form. So I think it's fucking awesome that you're willing to talk about it. I mean, I struggle with anxiety and I've made a lot of progress. And like I used to be really depressed, made a lot of progress on that. And it was also therapy, meditation, positive self-talk, routine, all help. So I'm super happy to hear that's helped you, man.
Yeah, we actually talked about something similar on the show last week, not so much with the mental aspect, but more the physical aspect, how as a player, it's really not in your own best interest to, like you said, be vulnerable, like admit that there could be a problem that you need to work through, even though like it's kind of backwards because it's way better to be open about that. So like what we were talking about last time was like wrist injuries and stuff, because I think most people who spend as much time as we do playing games probably develop some kind of discomfort. Like for me, I've never had debilitating wrist issues, but I take a lot of measures to prevent it, like wear wrist guards at night. And whenever I'm on a team, I would not be super forthcoming about that, being like, oh yeah, my wrists are hurting. Because think about it, if you're a team owner, your player's like, my wrists are hurting, I might have a wrist injury. You start viewing them as like damaged goods. It's kind of the same thing with the mental health. If you have a player who gets anxious in the matches, who talks about it, it's just like, it's almost ammunition used against them, even though it's something that I'm pretty sure most players deal with. Like for my career, I've definitely had periods of time where like I start getting in my own head about stuff. It's funny, I used to, one of the tricks I would do is like anytime I was in a league game and I started thinking about other things besides what was happening in this actual game, I'd always hear this like voice of some dude who like taught me League when I was first starting, just like calling me like fucking stupid. Like why are you thinking about that? You're playing a game right now. And then it would help me refocus. But I think it's a real thing. And I do think it's good for people to be open about it and talk about it, because I don't think it's something that, should make a player viewed as damaged or whatnot, or because it's just a thing that happens. And the more open you are about it, the more you try to find a solution, the better off you're going to be, rather than hiding it, being like, yep, no problem, my wrists are good, my mental's good. Meanwhile, you're like,
Yeah. I think real strength.
Suffering.
Yeah, real strength isn't about hiding your problems. It's about being able to expose your problems and still being okay with yourself, right? I think that's what like real confidence and strength comes from. I'm curious, you guys have had sports psychologists, right? Did they not, what kind of stuff do they work on with you? Because is it different than what your therapist would address?
My sports psychologist this year addressed it, but he mostly addressed it because I told him what I was working with my therapist for like 6 months, right? So when I was on TSM, our sports psych at the time, I think he kind of knew that I had it, but we never called it anxiety. There was a series that I played in my playoff run on TSM where my anxiety, it was like shown so much, like the two sides of me that can show up, because the first 2 games I was like super in my own head in that series, and I was just playing really poorly. Like enemy jungler was just carrying the games really hard because I was underperforming so bad, and I was just freaking out about like all the pressure and thinking about what people were thinking about me. Like I remember going backstage and thinking and hearing like I was playing for Svenskeren and he was playing Hecarim or something, and just I remember going backstage to the bathroom and hearing like hearing the casters talk about like how much impact he had and stuff, and then I started like, it was so bad, like the circle that's going around, like I'm just thinking about like what's happening instead of like Will said, like when you play the game you need to be confident and present in what's happening and just take how it comes and like make the decisions as they need to come. You can't be in the game thinking about like how the game's going, what people are thinking about you. If you're thinking about stuff like this, you're gonna lose to people who are like just present and like just actually just there ready to go. So yeah, he took me, it was like a pretty big change. He took me out. This is when there's still fans in the arena, but he took me out to look at all the people, and he said, look at all the people out there that are out there, and he said, think about what you want to say to them with your play. And I was like, I just remember thinking about that, and I was like, yeah, I want to show them that I'm fucking good, because I feel like I didn't show them the last 2 games. And then game 4, game 5, I carried pretty hard. I played Rek'Sai game 4 and did really well. And then game 5 we played Kindred Zillion. So I was like, I don't know, I was like the center of the comp in that game. So it's really important that my game is good and I perform to win. And yeah, after I did that, I was just like, I thought like, I mean, I still didn't know that I had anxiety. I didn't have like a name for it or whatever, but I was just, after that happened, I was like, yeah, I can play. For
Hell
sure.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
Did your mom play League?
I don't think she's ever played a video game in her life. Pretty sure.
yeah,
Really?
my parents are the same. Never played. Well, actually, that's not true. My dad tried like some of the PlayStation games and stuff that we would play with each other. Like,
Nice.
we would play like SSX Tricky on GameCube.
Oh,
He played
I love that game, dude.
Yeah. He tried it, but he didn't like it that much.
Nice.
He would always get mad when it's like, because he was in the military, so he would just be like, this isn't realistic. Like whenever he's playing like computer games,
Oh my god.
he'd be playing like Modern Warfare.
I can see the strings.
And then he'd just be talking about like the strategy of what's going on, and I'm like, that's not that serious. He just shoots guys.
Was he good though?
No.
No. Did your mom play League?
Yeah, she did actually. She was the biggest noob, but she played like 400 co-op versus AI games and only plays
Holy
COD.
shit. Have you ever jungled for her?
No.
Co-op versus AI?
I don't think I've ever actually played a game with my mom. I've like sat next to her while she was playing and I tried to teach her how to play, but
Dude, it's time. She's played 400 games, man. She's like competent.
Yeah.
you would think so. Nah, she's learning.